The following is a production of Fenix Media. The views expressed do not necessarily represent those of the company or its advertisers and may contain language that's unsuitable for younger listeners.
What's up, bees?
Hello.
Welcome to the Brit on Blast podcast, where we put everything and anything on blast. What's this week's roundup, Britton?
This week, we're talking about gratitude and how beneficial it is to our overall well-being and our happiness. Being grateful is such a powerful tool that can help you through a lot of difficult times or even just normal times. I'm so excited to get into this topic, and I'm so excited you were down to talk about it with me. But also your voice sounded really good in the intro.
Oh, did it?
Yes.
It's because I think I'm just not feeling so spastic. I mean, do you want me to jump into my week? Because I could tell you why.
I do want to talk about your week, but also like A+ for the voice.
Thank you.
Yeah. So what was going on this week?
Well, I had obviously I've done a lot of research on human design. We've talked about it on the podcast, the alignment episode, and I decided to have my chart read yesterday by this girl named Taylor is her full name. Taylor Grew. I found her because we both love Taylor Swift.
Is she a human design guru and her last name is Grew?
Oh my God. I didn't put two and two together. No, but the person who created the human design app, that My Human Design that we told everybody to go do, she works directly for her.
Wow. How cool.
So I went and got my chart read by her yesterday, and you guys, holy shit. Like, I just cannot believe she validated so many things in myself. And I think the biggest thing that she said was that because I can be affected so highly by the energies in the room, like I can truly chameleon myself in a space, which has been so great for me in my sales career. But
heard that.
Right.
You're amazing. Yeah.
Thank you. But it makes me feel really untethered. Because I'm a very calm person when I'm by myself, and I've been feeling this crazy need to be alone a lot. And, anyway, she just told me, she was like, you always have access to your calm. She's like, you literally just have to remember that you can literally just say I'm actually not any of these things. I'm just calm. And it's been working really well. I've only been doing it for 24 hours, but
it's almost like therapy because it's you knew a lot about your human design. Obviously, you're an expert. I've just nearly scratched the surface of it because of you, but it has helped me tremendously already in self-identifying why I am the way that I am. And so I feel like this is almost therapy for you because she was just reinforcing and then also told you things that you didn't know about it.
Yeah, there were a lot of things that she explained it too. She's like, you are not your human design. Your human design is simply the machine. So the machine operates like this, and you can either function with the machine to make it be better for you and really align with your life and kind of pull you into the alignment that you need so that the universe or God can provide you the things that you need.
Efficiently
instead of you constantly coming up against these big walls, or you can fight the machine and throw rocks into it and stop things. And so I'm just envisioning an actual wheels, cogs and wheels.
Yeah. Comes to a grind and a stop.
And I was feeling that grind and that stop and that exhaustion. And yesterday was one of those days because we had my papa's funeral on Saturday and my cousin's baby shower on Sunday. So it was just a lot of emotions. And those were a lot of hours that I was putting my energy into other people. And I was feeling it big yesterday. I couldn't get back into work. I couldn't find motivation or.
Well, probably because you expended all of your battery, as we like to call it, and you just had nothing left for yourself or for your business, which happens because life happens, right? Yeah. So you can't, and it's hard as a business owner to not beat yourself up. You feel like you're failing in one area of your life, no matter what you're doing.
Right.
I feel like women do this more than men. Moms feel like if they're giving too much to their job, they're not giving enough to their kids, and then vice versa. Or I don't think that men really have that guilt.
Yeah.
Women are really good at doing that.
And I think we're it's the normal thing for me. expending my emotions is not really like a normal experience for me within myself anyway. And so I relate to men a lot in that way, because I think that as a society, we don't allow men to like experience their feelings fully. So they can keep that to themselves. Whereas like for me, I get into situations where I know I'm supposed to be expressing emotion, and that alone can make me feel really anxious. And then because I pick up on so many energies in the room, I'll express emotions that I don't actually relate to at all. And it's a very overwhelming experience. I know that seems like really, but like I can't cry unless I'm like seeing somebody else cry.
Wow.
It's like very strange. Like I won't cry.
You're like a sponge. You literally absorb
everything.
Good, bad, indifferent. That's crazy.
Yeah. And it's really intense. And like the alone thing has been really nice for me.
Yeah. Especially if that's where you can be calm. Like I feel that so hardcore. I have to be alone and I have to recharge, or else I am like no good.
Yeah. Well, that's
for anything.
That's where we're similar. Our designs are so similar. And just as an FYI, like I'm thinking of this now, but like yesterday I was like, you know what? Everything in me was like, keep going, keep pushing, keep going, keep pushing. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to sit on the couch and watch TV for a minute.
Yeah.
And I did. And it like rejuvenated me. And then I also was able to come up with a couple new, because we have a huge line coming out.
Yes, I'm so excited for that
this month, and I'm really excited. And so I've been struggling with like what to call the candles, and I got one of them down.
So it's like when you take a moment of like calm and quiet, the creative ideas flow to you.
Yeah.
I always get my best ideas on the treadmill. And I also feel that same way. Like I'll be working but not accomplishing anything. I'll take a shot of espresso, lay down for 20 minutes exactly, set a timer, and when I wake up, the caffeine is hit and I'm like rejuvenated.
That's
it's
brilliant.
Crazy, but like straight silence. I put earplugs in and an eye mask on, because I'm like, don't fuck with me right now.
I love that. How was your week?
My week was fantastic. I went to Nashville with my mom and my sisters, and we had the best time. Last time, obviously, I talked about I was in Nashville when we and I clocked in from there, which was so fun. It was one of the best trips. My mom loves country music, has had me like, just has educated us on that. And when I was younger, I used to freaking hate it. I'd be like, Mom. And then I remember one time in school, they asked what our favorite music was, and I put country, and everyone laughed.
What?
Because it wasn't cool. It wasn't cool.
Well,
and
yeah,
so
rap and hip hop were like it.
I was like, oh, just kidding, Jay-Z. Like, you know, I was like, oh my God, definitely not Tracy Lawrence. God. But it was like the best time. My mom and I had so much fun, and my sisters, and like, I'm just so grateful for the community that I have in my family. And like, my mom is so fucking fun. She's like, where are we going? Let's go shopping. Order the appetizer. Let's do it. It was so fun.
Isn't it fun to see your mom like
thriving,
light up and like thrive? And like, there's just something like, so that is truly like my only goal in life when I go out with my mom is like, I just want to see you have a good time. Like,
right. They're so deserving. And like my mom is so fun. Like she lives life big and she laughs big, and it's just the best. But coming back from Nashville has been, you know, hard to get my footing as far as business, but here we are, and I'm super excited to dive into gratitude.
Yeah, and we have some awesome things coming down the pipeline this month. We get to like do stuff together again.
I know. I've been missing that. It's gonna be amazing.
I know.
Ladies' Night is back, and we got
Ladies' Night at the end of the month. I think we get to go hang out with Johanna. Do we not?
Yes, I think I'm
hanging out with Johanna. Have you decided on this? No pressure.
I think I'm already booked for that one, but I'm going to try to
do a different one with her.
Yes.
I'm like really excited for that.
Me too.
I can't wait to see her.
Yay.
And we're having her on the pod. So
yes.
Anyway, speaking of, that's the perfect place is gratitude. I was just like found that photo of you, me, Bridget, and Johanna under the tent when it was like blowing away.
I was so tired that day.
You were.
I was. Yeah, but we pushed through, and it was hot.
And I ended up at like an anime thing after that. And I was like, I got to get out of here. I got to go.
Yeah, you did back-to-back events.
Yeah, I was like fully triggered. I was like, I got to go. No, I didn't end up doing the second event because I like got there and what was the person I needed to see wasn't there. And then I was like, I can't, I freaked out. I needed to be in therapy at that point.
Well, anime is triggering for you for multiple reasons.
So many reasons, but I cannot express enough that I literally bolted so fast. My avoidant personality has never been more clear than in that moment.
Full sprint out the door.
Full sprint. All right, well, let's jump into gratitude.
So Britt, because this is in your wheelhouse, why the Automobile Museum?
I mean, for me, it's about the cars all day long. I love cars. I like old cars, new cars, all the things. For me, the fact that they have the DeLorean here and the Batmobile in the same room is like, it makes my heart happy. So that's why for me, but I think for like someone like us, like doing things with all of our friends, like 160 of our close friends could go to the theater.
In any movie that you want. They have so many things to offer. The space camp for your kids, if you like need a little break or you want to look at the cars. Reno's just really lucky to have it. It's one of the biggest collections, I think, in the country, which is awesome.
It's so cool. And the fact that it's here in the biggest little city is like the coolest thing ever. So yeah, grab a bottle of tequila and come on into the theater.
Yes, Back to the Future.
Get all your friends, 160 of them, so the whole town of Reno.
So everyone you know.
And watch a movie.
Yep.
You can find tickets at the automuseum.org.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's where you go get your tickets.
Perfect.
Fun day. Britton, tell us what BLFT is all about, because it's my favorite place to shop.
The Biggest Little Fashion Truck is a family-owned and operated boutique on wheels. We got started 5 years ago because I had this deep desire to make women feel more confident. And I found out that one of the many ways you can enhance your confidence was through clothing. Hence our why, confidence through clothing.
We love some confidence in our lives.
We pride ourselves in bringing back that old school expertise in customer service by providing an experience, whether it be at our pop-up events around town.
We love the pop-up events. I'm at those with her all the time and they are fire.
Or we have a storefront, the Babe Cave. We just want each and every babe to feel better and be ready to be seen after shopping with us. Shop us online at the Babe Cave or our pop-up events at local businesses around town. We can't wait to see you. And a little something special we have for you. Use promo code BOB20 for 20% off your purchase online.
Hell yeah, I'm gonna be shopping today. Okay, so giving you a definition, facts on facts. Gratitude is the quality of being thankful, readiness to show appreciation for, and to return kindness. I love that definition really so much.
I know.
And I really want to highlight readiness to show appreciation for and to return kindness. I'm really like in a kind zone right now. It really goes so far. And what gratitude really means is thankfulness. It's the warm, thankful feeling you have towards the world or a person. A person who is full of gratitude isn't constantly trying to seek more. They are thankful for what they have and have feelings of contentment.
We were talking about that yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Like when you are full of gratitude, you're not constantly out there like trying to push for the next thing. Mm-hmm. You're content. And like you and I were having that conversation. It was like, well, contentment can sometimes have like a negative twist on it because you don't want to be content all the time.
Right.
But it's like more, to me, I think of like peace, like having like this underlying quiet peace about you as you go throughout your life. Right.
Yeah.
So gratitude kind of evokes that.
Yeah.
It has been such a hot topic in research.
Yeah.
And just, I feel like it's borderline overused. And I'm going to be honest, like everyone's like, gratitude, but like, when you truly think about it, it is so important. And the reason that it's been such a hot topic in the research world is because it is really showing some interesting findings and how beneficial it can be to our health and happiness. When we have feelings of thoughts and when we have feelings and thoughts of gratitude, and more specifically, when we practice gratitude, we can literally rewire our brains, which is interesting. So, obviously we like studies and stuff because we have to back up what we're saying with we facts. Are not like, to be super, super clear. Like we are not experts on any of this. Like I don't have a degree in psychology. You do. I did graduate in psychology, but like, it's not the same. TBH, like that was bachelor's and like who remembers anything also from what the bachelor's degree. Right. And what people don't realize is like, in order to be a therapist, you have to do so many hours of practice. Like before you can even get into it. I remember with, the hyena, like he went to go get his master's and then there was going to be like an extended amount of hours that he was going to be able to need to do before he went into actually like being
the kind of therapist he wanted to be, basically.
Yeah, no, the education is
it's
long.
insane.
Yeah, I was looking into it and I was like, yeah, I think I'm just going to tap out and
like basically if you have a psychology degree, you can go into sales and that's all. That's what it does for you.
Right. I mean, it was interesting and it was really fun, but like, yeah, I'm with you on that. So anyways,
give us the study since we're not the experts.
According to brainbalancecenter.com, scientists conducted a study in 2008, which is kind of a while ago, but I just thought it was really spoke volumes. So it measured the brain activity of people thinking and feeling gratitude. What they found was that gratitude causes synchronized activation in multiple brain regions and lights up part of your brain's reward pathways in the hypothalamus. In short, gratitude can boost neurotransmitter serotonin and activate the brain stem to produce dopamine. And we know that dopamine is our brain's pleasure chemical, right?
Yep.
Like the more that we think positive, grateful thoughts, the healthier and happier we feel.
That's why we like sex so much.
Right.
Dopamine hit.
Drugs. I mean, that's why people are addicted to drugs. They need, like, they train their brain to be at that high level of dopamine.
Yep.
But we can do that with gratitude. So it seems obviously.
Oh my God, you guys, gratitude is your new drug. Drug
if only it were that easy. But it doesn't, I mean, it seems easy. Just like think thoughts of gratefulness, right?
Yeah.
And then you'll get your brain to light up.
And it is really hard when you're in that moment. And I've been through, this is all very like top of the line for me right now, or like top of mind. I don't know how I want to.
Walk the line, bitch.
Walk the line.
Walk that gratitude line.
But it has been really like hard for me to be grateful for things. But when I look back now, I'm like, I feel like I'm on the other side of things. And there have been moments. I mean, I met you, I met Christian, I met like all of these incredible people. I've gotten the opportunity to grow my business. I have a business. Look, we can look at my breakup with the puppy and be like, that was the worst experience of my life. And what's happened recently, hindsight 2020, that was the best relationship of my entire life. And I am wildly grateful for it because that man, I can honestly say without him, Haven and Flux would not exist because I was so afraid of like doing anything until he gave me the permission to do the thing that I knew that I wanted to do.
It's like, it's so interesting that you say that because I feel like gratitude is something that we use after the fact.
Yeah.
And so we look back on really hard times in our lives and we can look back through a gratitude lens. I mean, I don't know, just getting into what I was, what we were talking about.
The dopamine hits and stuff like that. Yeah.
But also it's like, we can't eliminate negative thoughts. So we can't use gratitude to just like live. And you know, those people that are like toxic, positive, they're always like, oh, well, it's fine. Like, and you're like, well, it's not fine. Like I'm going through a really hard time. Although you'll be like, you'll tell them a story. You'll be like, and the whole family died. And they'll be like, well, at least the dog didn't die. And you're like, are you kidding me? Yeah. Like what the frick? Like be real. Yeah. So like, you know, I don't know. I just feel like you can't just only be positive in your life. But like you were saying, when you're going through a really difficult time, you can look back with gratitude for those difficult times because it makes you appreciate your life.
I also would say that when you look at, and this isn't like a what if scenario, there were things in my relationship that were really hard and that were huge red flags. Mm-hmm. And one of those things was that we were so overwhelmed by the hard things in our life that we forgot to be grateful for each other. Like for the relationship, how it started, what we provided to each other. And it didn't mean that those problems were going to go away. It just meant that like it was all negative and we overwhelmed ourselves and like, and then it ended. And like that's, and I think about that now because I look at like, even when you look at our relationship, we go through really hard things. Being a business owner is really hard. It's super isolating. You know, Britton and I luckily have the tendency to like, when I'm up, she's down, when she's down, or when I'm down, she's up. You get what I'm trying to say? I am wildly grateful for our relationship too, because I don't know where I would be without it. I mean, I guess I'm kind of like running in circles here, but I think to your point is that we aren't talking about toxic positivity. Gratitude doesn't mean that you replace the hard times, like that you don't experience the hard times in your life. And I want to be very clear that we're not talking about being positive. which is to be constructive or optimistic. We're talking about gratitude, which is to show appreciation or be thankful for whatever it is you're facing. We're talking about seeing the lesson in the hardships and finding gratitude for it, not overlooking the hundreds of positive comments to focus on the one negative, which I've been doing lately. We're talking about this to me is like the big thing. Please, for the love of God, you guys, look your barista in the eye and thank that motherfucker. Okay.
Yeah, for real.
They are providing you the liquid gold. And like, what a good way. Like, they're doing it over and over and over and over and over again. Think about how many people they touch each morning who just are grumpy because they haven't had their coffee yet and like don't say thank you to them.
Yeah, it's being grateful for the little things.
Like, just be kind.
I feel like gratitude is, for me, like I've used it as a tool through the hard times like we were talking about. And I had a year, I was like looking back at my life and been like, when have I been like, I think that my grateful journey had started a long time ago, but now I'm just more aware of it.
Yeah.
A couple years ago, I had a year where I lost 3 people within 9 months. So similar to kind of what you're going through right now. I lost both my grandmas and my aunt, and I was very, very close to all of them. And it was just like, bam, bam, bam. Yeah. Like, and it was hard. But now looking back on that, I'm like so grateful for the hardships because it made me realize how short life is. And it makes me appreciate the relationships that I do have in my life right now, that the living people. It makes me appreciate the time with them. It brought my family closer than ever. Yeah. And we persisted, through that together. And I got to see my mom as like this person that I've never seen, or like in the role that I've never seen her in. Right. And it showed me how to be during hard times. I mean, so I'm so grateful for that. And like that year alone, like just helped me so much. As far as like looking back though, in the time I didn't realize it, Yeah. This also happens in my business. Like in business, I have had to learn to be really grateful. If I didn't have the hard years, I wouldn't appreciate the good ones. Right. So every year would be the same. And it's during those hard years that you restructure, you adapt, and you persist, and you learn and you grow. And so then the good years feel that much better. So like, I feel like we can't just eliminate negative feelings, because without the negative, you don't have the positive.
100%.
You become numb, and you just like the people who escape the negative feelings all the time. They're the people that don't feel the positive either. Right. They are like numb human beings. So I'm definitely not saying that you have to not feel those negative things, because you have to in order to feel the good. Right. And like we were just saying, hindsight is 20/20. And when we are like knee deep in the pain and the suffering, and it is so hard, it's impossible to pluck out the positives of that situation. But it's when we look back on it that it's like crystal clear, and we can see and we can gain that understanding of why we had to go through those things that we had to go through. Right. Yeah. So that's just kind of like, I summed up a bunch of things right there, but that's like how I use gratitude. And even if you're like right now, I mean, personally, I'm not going through, it's hard. Like I am knee deep in
a lot of
work and like personal stuff and relationship stuff. And it's like, I just have a better perspective now, and it is definitely giving me more grace to handle it. So Britt, why intentional candles for mental health?
Because building healthy habits around your intentions can have a positive impact on not only your mental health, but your overall productivity. I wanted to create a premium non-toxic candle that reminded my customers that life is complex and we can live in the and space. Talking about mental health and mental illness doesn't always have to be scary or depressing. Sometimes it can be fun and enlightening. We are wildly unique and expansive creatures, as we've talked about on the podcast before, and we can be many things in a day. And sometimes we just need to light a candle to remind ourselves who the fuck we are and what we are capable of.
I 100% agree with that. Plus, your candles smell so good and they fill up my whole house. I hear you have something special for our listeners.
I do. I have a little promo for our bees. Y'all can head to havenandflux.com and use code BOB20 at checkout to get 20% off your order. I hope y'all enjoy. I would just like to take a second. I know we talked about how like women in the beginning of this, like it just is a little bit different for them, like for whatever reason. And I don't want to like, I'm not trying to single out men away from women because I think men have plenty of their own problems that we don't even talk about, but I am a woman, so I can speak about that. And I think that as a female who has a business, like nobody really talks about how when one part of your life shifts or is really hard or very overwhelming, other parts of your life are affected. I was just talking to somebody yesterday, and yesterday was like a Monday-ish Monday, I think, for everybody. Today we record on Tuesdays, so today's Tuesday. I was talking to somebody and I reached out and I was like, just so you know, because she posted something on Instagram. I was like, just so you know, you're not alone. Like I went through this today. It was a rough day. I can't imagine. She has kids. I was like, I can't imagine having kids today. Like, just know that I'm with you and I'm really sorry you're going through it too. And she was like, dude, thank you for saying that. Like, it's so isolating. And like, I'm just hearing you talk about it. And it's like, you just talked about the 3 main pillars of life, which is like work, relationships. What was the other one that you just said? And personal.
Yeah.
And those are like the 3 things that fuel us, that we're required to do on a daily basis. And what people don't realize is, like for you, for work, you've got 3 things. You've got 3 businesses. Work isn't just one thing. And then you think about relationships, and I'm lucky in that, where I don't have to worry about anybody really but me, my dog, and my parents and my little brother. And that's it. And it's kind of nice. It's kind of refreshing.
You have a lot of relationships in your life though. And it's not just family, you know, you do. And you you're good at maintaining relationships, and relationships take work. And so I wouldn't say that you're lucky by, you know, but I just mean that like, it's a little bit easier for me in these moments. And in hindsight, I'm grateful for that, because I know it's not always going to be like this. Right.
I mean, and if we look at the history of even this podcast, my life was a hell of a lot more complicated when I was trying to add more relationships into it. I mean, I can think of friends, whatever other situationships, like all of the other things I was trying to add in, it makes it really hard. But just getting back to the gratitude thing, I mean,
you can always find something to be grateful for. I always think of like those times where we're like I get hot-headed, especially in traffic. Like, do you ever do that? Do you ever have times where you're just like, especially if a California driver cuts me off.
It has a nickname in my.
First of all, there are so many California plates, and I'm like, seriously, and I'm like, if they cut me off, I lose it. But then, and I was actually talking to my sister about this too, because we were kind of just venting, and it's like, okay, but in the moment, I'm like, be grateful. And I'm like, fuck that. Like, no, I'm freaking mad. And it's like, okay, be mad. But then after everything calms down, AKA I calm down, I'm like, okay, I'm grateful to have a car, to be driving. Right. And like, when you think of the world and you just shift your perspective, everything gets better. And my sister was saying yesterday, she was like cussing herself as she was on her way to the gym. Like, I don't want to do this, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, I have 2 legs. I can move my body today. Yeah. There's going to be a time in my life where I'm not going to be able to run. And like, life is short, and that's going to be here. So like, keeping that perspective, right? As this reminded me, you were talking about your cup of coffee. There's a book, and it's called Thanks 1,000 by bestselling author AJ Jacobs. And it's about how he was inspired by his morning cup of coffee. So he decided to trace back everyone and everything that got him that cup of coffee. So he literally started with the people who like planted the coffee beans, and then the harvesters, and then the packers, and then the truckers, and the chemists who put the coffee together. And he called it his gratitude trail. And it's a really interesting book. But through his journey, he thanks these people face to face. Like you were saying, look your barista in the eye, right? Yeah. And it was just clear to him that the scientific research on gratitude is true. The benefits of gratitude are massive. Yeah. It improved his compassion. It heals your body, which that is amazing to me. Like it heals your body from the inside out. It helps battle depression, which, I mean, God, I think a lot of people can rely on that. And he talks about focusing on the hundreds of things in your day that actually go right versus the couple that go wrong. So like, traffic is right. And so it's just like the perspective. And also the book kind of wraps up by saying how interconnected we actually all are. Mm-hmm. And so at the very root of all of it, it's gratitude.
I think it's also really, there's two parts that I want to share really quickly. And the first thing is that I think it's really, really important as we go through life to remember that people are going through things that we have no idea. You being kind to somebody could make a world of difference. And you just talked about like the hundreds of things that actually go right in our day. It's a lot easier to focus on that one negative thing because it feels like it's drowning us sometimes. And I think I experienced that recently. You know, we have an excessive amount of listeners that I just didn't even think were possible. We do get quite a bit of wonderful reviews. We had one negative review and I lost my mind over it.
But it takes just as much energy to focus on the negative as it does to focus on the positive.
And so then to my second point is that the puppy used to, in hindsight 2020, things that I'm grateful for in that relationship that he taught me, you know, he had a really hard job and kept him away from his family and his friends and kept him in the middle of nowhere. And he used to have a hard time and he would be like, but what's the bright side?
Yeah.
And I found myself even after the fact would be like in a moment of something and be like, okay, but what's the bright side of this? It doesn't mean that you're covering up all the negative. It just means like it triggers your mind to be like somewhere in this, there's a nugget of good.
Right.
And I can be grateful for that thing. Find it. Like what's the bright side of each moment.
It lightens everything.
It does.
It really does.
It does.
There are so many benefits of gratitude on the holistic person. So some physical, which we love that. I mean, stronger immune systems, which we need that now more than ever.
Absolutely.
You're less bothered by aches and pains. I mean, we're getting old. Yeah, we are. And like, I mean,
although the guys in the lobby didn't think so today.
I know. These guys in the lobby.
We got called whippersnappers today.
And then they were like, you're younger than my daughter. And Britt was like, I don't know. I guess the Botox is kicking in. I was like, seriously, modern technology is keeping us looking like babies. I'm here for it. But less bothered by aches and pains, lower blood pressure. I guess you need that. Exercise. I guess that's better than high. Right. Yeah.
You definitely want low blood pressure.
I guess. I mean, honestly, I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but my resting heart rate is very low, which is amazing. Yeah. I feel like I'm dead sometimes.
That also can be like a problem when you get older.
Really?
Well,
I think it used to be high. I think it's running. Exercise more and take better care of your health. So self-care.
Yeah.
Sleep longer and feel more refreshed on waking up, which I really, really probably need.
I would like to say too, just like you just read that last one, I'm like, I woke up this morning and what happens, I live up against an alley and there's a lot of homeless people, which really messes me up because my brother has gone in and out of homelessness a lot. So it's like psychologically a lot for me to handle.
It's heavy. Yeah. It's like a constant reminder.
And in addition to that, it's also like hurts me for them, but also it, like selfishly, I'm like, I'm not getting any sleep because these people are screaming in the alleyway. And then in addition to that, last night I like had like night sweats. So I like could not sleep. That's like super sexy just for anybody who's listening. But I couldn't I did not get any sleep. And then my dog is having allergies. So I was up, I'm not kidding you, every 30 minutes last night. And I woke up, and normally when things like that happen, because my dog is allergic to my parents' grass. So this happens often. Normally the next morning I'll wake up and I'll be like, fuck today, I'm not doing it. I woke up because we had our conversation on Sunday and I knew we were talking about gratitude today. And part of the thing that we're going to get to next, I was like, you are not going to complain.
Yeah.
What is the bright side?
Yes.
And I was like, I'm alive and I'm going to Pilates.
I mean, honestly,
it made a big difference.
Yeah,
it makes a big difference. And I feel great today. Like I feel, even though I'm tired, I like feel good.
Well, and that gets into the psychological benefits of gratitude. So you have higher levels of positive emotions, which you are literally just living out today. You're more alert, alive, and awake, even though
actually that's true too, though.
Really?
In this moment. Yeah. Like I've only had 2 cups of coffee. Normally I'm at 3 by this point.
Yeah. I mean, I literally chugged my coffee because I'm a little foggy. More joy and pleasure and more optimism and happiness. So obviously those are all good things. Yeah. I want to get into the social benefits.
Yeah. For social, this is really important to me. I mean, kindness overall is so important, but you're more helpful, generous, and passionate. We talk about our community so much. I think that that's really important to remember, that this community that is Reno Tahoe is only going to get better if we all are kind to each other and helpful and generous and compassionate, you're more forgiving. So things like you asked earlier, if I do the car thing, it has a name in my family. It's called Hulk. And my parents are like, you're hulking out. You need to settle down. Like I go from 0 to 100.
Yes.
I'm the person that goes off the rails. Yeah. Like I snap. I get it from my mom. My mom does it too. Like if you see her snap, it's like an ugly thing, but more forgiving so that you don't have those moments where you hulk out. More outgoing. And I think outgoing is like more people want to be around you. If you're bright and light and grateful for things, like people gravitate towards that. Yeah. And they gravitate towards that. Like we talk about, or I see, maybe we don't talk, I don't know if we've talked about it on this, but like instead of chasing, like start attracting. Like if you want to bring people into your life, just be more grateful for the things that you already have. And then more people and more opportunities are going to come your way. You'll feel less lonely and isolated. And quite frankly, yes, because even when I'm alone and I'm grateful for the things that I have when I'm alone, I don't feel as isolated.
Right.
That was me yesterday.
I think, and we've talked about this so many times, but as business owners, it can be a very lonely and isolating feeling because not every business is the same. And so like, yeah, we can relate to each other, but like our challenges are different and our markets are a little bit different. And while there are a lot of similarities, there are also many differences. And then you like, for me, sometimes I don't like to disclose too much about my business. I don't know why, but like, and so I don't share with people. Yeah. And also I am scared of being judged. And so like, I don't think that people understand. And I mean, people say things like, oh, how fun you get to play dress up all day, or like your little businesses. And like, to me, that just like freaking bothers me. Right. And it's like, so it is, so I protect myself. So it is lonely and isolating. Right. But when I shift my mindset to gratefulness and I'm like, well, I'm so grateful. And I just run through the list in my head. Yeah. Everything seems to just kind of fade away.
I find that I'm more inspired when I'm grateful for the things that I have, because like, for example, today I've like got all of these great ideas. And even yesterday, towards the end of the day, I had all of these great ideas that I wasn't having before. And that is just invaluable as a business owner, because as you know, the inspiration doesn't always come.
Right. And for us, we are living in alignment when we're most creative and when those ideas are flowing out of us. When I am not creative, when I'm not creating, and when I'm not inspired, I feel down. I feel depressed. So it's like, I have to be out there doing that. And I think it might be linked to like the productivity and self-worth thing that I'm working on, but like creating helps me do that. And so when I'm grateful and I have good perspective, then all of that comes naturally and the ideas flow to me.
But not only like gratitude in that moment, but stepping away. Like I can't express that enough, because like stepping away from my business for like 4 hours yesterday was the best fucking thing I ever did for myself.
Yeah. And I think just carving out that time. So I mean, I carve out time daily to just not.
That's so good. And I haven't done that. I don't do that.
So I have to, or else I do not do well. So I've noticed that about myself, but like I've said that my best ideas come on the treadmill, and I'm usually just like walking and they just flow to me. It's because my brain is focusing on probably a million other things, like keeping my body going, like balance and all of that, breathing. And then all of a sudden the ideas are able to flow in.
That's true. Like I think Pilates, hiking for me is like big. I'm ready for the summer. I cannot express that enough.
Like nature is healing for sure.
Yeah. And I love snowboarding so much. But the thing with snowboarding is like you always go with somebody, and like escaping to a lake. Yeah. And they're in your like, ear. Yeah. And it's just like, and I love everybody so much. Like I love all my people. I'm so grateful for them. I'm so grateful that we live in the mountains where we can go and we can like experience the beauty of nature. But like I need to be alone with my thoughts.
Yeah, like turn that chatter off, turn all that like stimulus and all that like fog around your brain, and just strip it down and just be where you are. And that's when the ideas flow.
All right, so you guys know that I live for Western wear, specifically my boots and my hats. So I want to talk a little bit about a brand new brand that is new to Reno, Nevada, and is from our beautiful babe over here. So Britton, tell us what Murdock's is.
Well, first of all, hats have been one of my truest loves since I was a kid. I swear I had a hat on in every single picture as a child. And then they quickly became a BLFT signature. We couldn't find the hat that was just perfect. And so we decided to design our own. Murdock's is a family brand that started in the great state of Nevada in the 1950s. My great-grandparents started Murdock's Western wear. Fast forward 60 years, the Murdock sisters recreate this homegrown brand by curating a hat line that embodies the spirit of Nevada. We were raised in this amazing state, and we watch a Nevadan's ability to put in a hard day's work on the ranch, followed by a hard night's play at the casinos. We pulled inspiration from the everyday beauty around us, the sunsets, Lake Tahoe, the mountains, and the forest.
I'm not gonna lie, I have full body chills right now because you hit so many nails on the head just now. Like, there's nothing that screams Reno, Nevada more than family and community and a little bit of Western. So the fact that you put all of our favorite things together and then you made it all about like bringing back the roots of your family brings me so much joy. Y'all need to check out Murdock's hats. Where do you find them?
Murdock'sHatsAndApparel.com.
We love it. Go shop, y'all.
I mean, obviously it's not realistic to go on a hike or to go snowboarding every day, but like carve out that time. Like you do it with Pilates, but even then you're with people who, and I mean, we're women, it's human nature to be like, oh, am I doing this right? She's doing it different.
Yeah.
Are they looking at me? I'm not good at this. I need to push hard. Like you're thinking all those things. And so, or like, wow, I feel awful today. Or have I gained weight? Like,
see, but even like that has shifted for me recently.
Good.
And I think it's because, again, like I'm grateful that I can afford Pilates. Like I'm grateful that I have a business that allows me to have Pilates, and like,
it's a luxury.
It's a luxury. And I just like, I'm grateful that my body can do the things because like I have so many injuries that I'm like, the fact that I've gotten to the point where like I can hold a plank for an extended period of time is like blows my mind. I'm grateful for like my ass now.
Yeah.
It's looking very good.
10 out of 10.
Tiffany says that by summer we'll be able to bounce a quarter off of it. And if I can't, I'm suing. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding.
So mark that down, Tiff. She's coming
Tiffany,
for you.
I'm coming for you if I can't bounce a quarter off my ass by summer. Anyway, on that.
I mean,
wonderful.
Do you lay down when you do that? How do you bounce a quarter off your ass? Like what? Can you paint this picture for me? Because I want to try it.
I think it's just like an expression. But,
okay.
But we should try it.
We should try it.
Let's try it. Let's try it.
We'll make it real for you guys. How to bounce quarter off ass.
Off ass. It's probably going to hurt.
Step
like
one,
Pilates. Step one, Pilates. I would actually, please don't throw quarters at my ass.
I'm going to after this. Christian, can you get that for us?
Christian, you have a quarter?
Oh man.
Oh my God, the things I say on this podcast. Wow. Do you want to get into some practical application?
Yes. So
can I jump in real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. So these are great. And I do love these. And these are a great foundation. The abundance journal, I think, because you do gratitude, don't you?
Yeah. So, I mean, I just like stick to this routine. Like, and I literally I created it myself and it just works and it stuck. So I'm just like not messing with it. But now like doing research, I'm like, oh, okay, like it's a good thing, right?
Oh my God, this is what that lady said to me yesterday.
What?
She's like, you guys are accidentally creating your alignment. And you didn't even realize you were doing
That's crazy. Yeah, I just do things that feel right. And I feel like I know when I'm out of alignment because I wear my emotions on my sleeve. So I'm like a walking billboard too of like feeling like shit. No one wants to be around me
in that way. Like I'm learning so much. I've learned so much from you. I cannot like just gratitude moment for you on this. Like, no, seriously, because like the last 6 months have been like fucking hell, or it's probably been more at this point. I've lost track, but like it was a rough go. And you got to see me at some of my lowest points. And like, I think of even like some of the first ladies nights I was going through like literally a breakup that I remember.
God,
I got ghosted the very first time.
That was sad.
I got ghosted twice since we started ladies nights. And I stayed too many times, but like I was so unwell and I couldn't not project those things to everybody else. And like, I felt like I was and I would feel all this guilt because I would go into a room and I could tell I was impacting the energy of the space. And I hated that.
You are who you are. Like what, I mean, you know.
No, I know, but like, it just, you're so good at that. Like you've really taught me how to like, and it's not even bottling it up. It's like, you have 3 people that you talk to your shit about. And like, that's it.
I think that what I don't know when this came over me, but I just realized like, it's not about me, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, giving back and like that kind of mentality has shifted things. So I never think that something is about me.
Right.
Which can sometimes like, I'm like, okay, no, like this is like step up and like do your thing. Right. And so like, I don't know. I think that has helped me step outside of myself.
Right.
And keep perspective. But so the first way to, you know, practical application, we love to leave you guys with some tips and tricks on how to, you know, like incorporate this into your daily life, but write an abundance journal. So I don't have a journal or notebook, but take a few minutes each day and jot down 1 or 2 positive experiences or something that you're grateful for. It can be as vague or as small as you want. So like I write it on a little sticky note every day. So I like read a little like daily whatever that helps me get my day right. And then I will write 3 things that I'm grateful for. And sometimes it can be as big as like my parents' health, or it can be as big or as small as like coffee. Right. Yeah. So it can be big or small, but it really helps. And then I love looking back on them. You know, like I was grateful for like new boots the other day. Like it can be something stupid.
I know. Well, okay. So I actually like 5 or 6 years ago when I was on the road, I realized I needed something. So I was following this girl and she was doing the 5-minute journal. Mm-hmm. Well, they actually make an app.
That's awesome.
It's called the 5-minute journal.
Good to know.
And it is like 3 things. So basically it starts off with like 3 things. It's 11:11.
Yes.
I'm going to open this up real quick. So it tells you
hour.
It's morning and night that you do it. Mm-hmm. And it starts with 3 things I'm grateful for. They always give you like a little quote, 3 things I'm grateful for, what I will do to make today great, 3 things. And then your daily affirmation for yourself. And you can like add photos in too. So like some of my old stuff, I don't always do the nighttime one. The nighttime one is, I'll tell you guys real quick, highlights of the day and how could I have made today even better.
That's so cool.
And then you can add photos. So like this did suck when I was going through my breakup because like it would pop up with like photos of Mark. But like, look at this one was on Wednesday, the 24th, and it's all the girls at Alpine.
That's so cool. I love that. So what is the app called?
It's called the 5-minute journal. I'll link it.
Yeah.
And in fact, actually it's already on our stories.
Cool.
Oh, people I always forget that it's like 24 hours later, but I'll link it for everybody so that you know, and then I'll show everybody it again.
It's amazing. I love that. So however you can, you know, journal, write down whatever you want to do. Another thing is to express your gratitude in person. Yeah. So be sure to verbalize your appreciation to your friends, to your family, coworkers, employees. You know, just tell them that you're grateful for them, highlight what they're good at, you know, value them.
I think if you are a fan of somebody, they should know that you're a fan of them.
Yeah.
I think that's like super, super important.
Right.
And don't just be saying it if they don't like, if they're not, you know what I mean? Like, cause that's also happening.
Right. And like, I mean, for the people closest to you, like you never know. And like to be able to say, like looking back on your life, to be able to say that you know, told them how you felt is healing for you. And you're going to want that. Believe me, it's more about you than them at this point.
I would just also like to say that when my brother was being diagnosed, I didn't really realize the impact it was having on my parents, but really my mom the most. Mm-hmm. And she was having to do a lot of hard things.
I can't imagine.
And I think it would have made like, she told me this years later, but like, I guess I was the only one telling her that I saw what she was doing. And like, I remember her being like, I just wish that like anybody would ask, like anybody would like check in on me. That's a form of kindness, which links back to gratitude. So like, take that opportunity. You really don't know what people are going through, and it really could make the whole difference in their world just to know that like you're thinking of them and and that is like a form of gratitude.
Definitely.
I think also this kind of actually leads into the next one, which is show respect for those around you.
Right. I mean, just be a nice person, hold the door, pitch in when you can, smile, right? Like, I don't know. I definitely don't always do that because I'm lost in my own thoughts, but like just being nice to the people around you and show respect.
Right. Show respect. I mean,
and then our last.
Yeah. Sorry. I could go on for.
We have two more tips. The second to last one is don't complain, which we kind of touched on already. I mean, obviously when something terrible happens, it's natural to want to just complain about it. But just try to not like when you like, obviously you're going to do it. And I complain all the time, but like, I at least like try to like catch myself and be like, okay, even if I had just gone on a full rant, right?
Yeah. Y'all, complaining is something that is taking the easy way out.
Right.
Like, I'm not going to lie. I just did it for the last however many months. Like, you can complain about your situation or you can do something about it. So
I don't think that you complain for the last, I think that there's a difference there's a difference between venting and talking it out in a therapeutic way and complaining. To me, complaining is like, you know, and like it brings everyone down around you. So
right.
I don't think that you were complaining at all. I think that you were, you know, venting.
That's true.
That is a way of therapy too. And then the last one is volunteering in your community. You know, we look at these volunteers and these people that help their communities, and a lot of times they say that they do it for themselves because it makes themselves feel better. Like there's more when you give, and you're a gift giver. You know, I love that about you. If you freaking brought me a gift today and you're always bringing us waters, like you're so thoughtful and sweet like that. And it really does brighten my day. But like, I'm not saying that you do it for you, but it must be like something that you like to do. And like volunteering for your community, like it does help you more than it.
Yeah, it is. It's funny because they say like you express your love language.
Yeah.
And my love language, I think, I don't know. I haven't taken that. I don't know what it is actually. So I can't know, but I like to receive gifts as much as I like to give them. So it's just the thoughtfulness of it.
Noted. Christian noted.
No.
I'm
That's
just
not
kidding.
What I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I just mean that like, I don't know, like if I knew you were running late today and like you had a lot on your plate. And so I was like, well, let me just bring her some liquid death. And then I needed you to test that candle. So I was like, can you test this candle for me?
No, but that is like such a sweet, and this candle, I literally, if you could name it Heavenly, that's what I would name it if I were you. But I know you have.
You guys want to know what my dad this morning wanted me? He's going to fucking kill me right now. My dad wants me to name one of the next collections. This smells like my dad likes vagina because of Gwyneth Paltrow. I wish I was joking. I wish I was joking.
I love it.
I was like, if you ever say those words to me again, I will. What is it called when you like disassociate with your parents?
Cut them off.
I am done with them. Like I will be done.
That is hilarious.
Anyway, I'm not grateful for that moment. I would like to be clear.
So if you're kind of feeling like you're down or in a funk, like do a few simple things. And like we always say, you don't have to just, you know, completely overhaul your life or the way you're living. Just like small little bite-sized pieces. Write an abundance journal. Write down 3 things you're grateful for. Freaking write it in your notes on your phone. Download the app that Britt's talking about. Express your gratitude in person. Tell the people around you how you feel and what you love about them, what you appreciate about them. Show respect for those around you. Don't complain, and volunteer somewhere. Give back in any way that you can. And just one closing thought is, you know, gratitude can make our lives happier, kinder, and more impactful. And at the end of the day, I mean, what more do you want in life, you know?
I mean, and it'll improve our community, which is really all that we can ask for as a small town community.
Right.
So, well, that pretty much wraps it up for us. So I'm going to go ahead and do the thing that I always do, which is tell y'all to follow along on Britt on Blast and find us on BLFT Reno, Murdock Hats and Apparel, and Haven and Flux. And if you like the show, subscribe and review Britt on Blast on whatever platform you're listening on. And thank you guys for listening again. I'm so calm today that felt weird to.
You have a legit podcast voice. It's beautiful. It's like,
oh, thank you,
Delilah. Do you know that? Do you know Delilah?
I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. Okay,
she's like a radio host, and like it's like I feel like it's like Sunday nights, like slow jams, and she's like, "Welcome, it's Delilah." Like I can't do it. I don't even want to try, but like
I'm just feeling so calm that even when I just said that, normally I'm like all crazy. I
can't believe you don't know Delilah. Like what? Okay,
sorry, I'll look her up.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
Google.
That's all right. Well. Thanks for listening, you guys. If you guys like it, let us know. Write us on Instagram. We want to hear from you. Yeah, review us.
We love y'all. Cheers.
Bye.